Cheers, people. It's Wednesday, the 16th of April, and I'll say hello for a few minutes. You know, I notice, I do look at the stats and stuff, and I do notice that I never ask you to subscribe, but my subscription number just continues to rise. Interesting. I have a couple of night listens to show. You know, I was watching some other VC videos today and the other day, and it's like hard to imagine that you like the Stones so much that you're buying multiple versions of those old albums from the 60s, you know, actually bothering with which one sounds better, which one has higher fidelity. I can't imagine listening to any of this music that closely, or especially something like that. But again, to each their own. It's just like, to me, it's kind of flabbergasting. How many copies of an old Rolling Stones album from 1966 do you need? But to each his own, right? A little bit of a rant there. So, more coffee. I'm basically trying to avoid commenting about the news because I'm just so down about it. And I had to let someone know, don't be emailing me stuff. You know, I'm making assumptions about me. Okay, someone sent me some shit about depression. Leave me the fuck alone, all right? It was time for a little bit of some of that energy. So there it is, okay? So I listened to this last night. Part of what I'm doing with my night listens right now is not so much listening to stuff that I know that I like, but going through and checking out some of the stuff I've had on CD that's just been sitting. So here's one. Bertrand Bergalat. I didn't know who this person was when I bought it. It was one of those dollar CDs. I bought it because it said the genius of this guy. And then on the back, it's a compilation, or it's a bunch of different artists. Everyone from Ladytron to Air to Louis Philippe to Renegade Soundwave, Nick Cave. And apparently this Bertrand Bergalat is a singer, musician from France. And these were his remixes of these tunes. And it was an interesting listen. It wasn't really a restful listen, but I let it play all the way through. I fell asleep and then reawakened. It was an interesting listen. His take on these artists isn't necessarily anything that I would recommend. But that was one from last night. Another one, I had forgotten this. Cloud 9 Millennium. Cloud 9 Millennium. Created by Mark Bryden from Moloko. For a minute, I was getting into Moloko back when they were kind of hot. I liked her voice, and I liked the music. And this is real R&B oriented, it's just basically black music. It's on the Acid Jazz label. And I remember when they were trying to market, this was a whole marketing ploy to try and repurpose R&B, basically urban black music, to a new audience. It worked. Acid jazz was a thing for a while, but you know, when you get the records and you listen to them, it's like Roy Ayers and stuff, you know, nothing new. So this was okay. I didn't get through all the way of it because it was like, okay, this is just okay. I mean, it's just, you know, like I said, R&B. Now, this was out. I didn't get to it, but I will. And this is one I know I like. And Dusty Trails, this project between Josephine Wiggs from The Breeders and this other woman. And I love this album. They describe it on the back. Mellow sounds and minor chords, a synthesis of elegance and groove. This is Dusty Trails. That is a very appropriate description of this album. I love this album. I love this. It's exactly what it says. Slightly elegant, mellow, minor chords, contrasted with other brighter colors. I don't think this was ever released on vinyl. Not that I need a record, but I like records. But I'll probably just play this today. I love this. They May Call Me a Dreamer is one of the titles off of here that I really like. Dusty Trails. I highly recommend this, okay? So my driveway is still barricaded up, but I'm certain that the concrete is dry now. It's been almost 24 hours. It's not uncommon for these things to happen like this. The city comes through all gung-ho, and they're going to make money off of us poor folks fixing sidewalks that nobody walks on. And then, just forget about it. Just leave this stuff here. I mean, it's like my car was trapped in the driveway. I guess they forgot about me. I'll move the barricades because I need to go to the post office today. I have a sale. Thank you, people. Keep buying my music. But it made the news, not my block, but Preston Love's son, Preston Love Jr., is running for either mayor or something. And he was on the news yesterday downtown where there's this huge sinkhole in the middle of downtown Omaha where a garbage truck actually fell into the sinkhole. They got it out, but this thing it's huge. And it's just been sitting there for a month now at least. And they're going to come down here and sweat people who don't have any money about repairs that aren't necessary. And there's this big gaping hole that no one wants to be responsible for. These are crazy times to me. And it's like we don't have common sense leadership hardly anywhere. Everything is compromised by the need for somebody to make money. It's very frustrating. So, to wrap up here, I've listened to this all the way through here, and other than the story of Oboe is the way this starts, with a kind of a wrapped delivery, that was a misstep. Peter Gabriel has always tried to ride with the times and show awareness of current trends. But this is one where it's like, that so-called rap at the beginning of that album sucks. And then it just gets better. I also noticed on the side, one of these, I think it's The Hand That Sold Shadows, is just a remake of something off of the Security album with the big drum thing. And it ends the exact same way as on Security, which I thought, oh, come on, Peter. We don't be repeating ourselves, but the rest of the album is really quite good. A couple things I listened to yesterday besides Alice Coltrane all the way through. That's really good. This was on my mind to play. Spirit. Randy California. His uncle Ed Cassidy on drums. This is a weird album. And it's, again, an album where the lyrics are a snapshot of the times. When I listen to old lyrics and guys talking about girls and chicks and stuff, it's embarrassing how selfish and misogynistic mankind has gotten away with for so long. Like the first track on this album, Dark Eyed Woman, I liked the music, but as I was listening to the words, I was like, oh God, are you kidding me? This is embarrassing that we didn't have greater regard for one another sexually. But I listened to it and enjoyed it all. It's a throwback for me because this is one that's been with me since it came out. The band, Clear Spirit. Fresh Garbage, I have most of their albums. So that's one of the things that I notice when I listen to old stuff these days is the change of perspective of time and how, we're not as smart as we want to think we are. When I look at history and the things that have been okay, especially in light of how bad things are right now politically, I mean, it's like there's some really unreal negative things happening politically. And it's like I look at history and it's like, well, it's always been a mess. Always been a mess. So I was looking for something and came across these two albums. I played one, but I'm going to show both. I got turned on to this because I got to see these people perform live. I didn't know about them before I went to the show. Spires that in the sunset rise. Ancient Patience Wills It Again, Part 2. And so I have both parts. I love that artwork. Ka Baird is like the main person in this band. It's like a modern blend of folk and something else, not rock. I really like this. I like this a lot. Listen to both sides of this. We'll probably play the other album today. I mean, it's all acoustic things like cello and percussion. And Ka is not the greatest singer, but her delivery is totally believable. I saw them with Circuit de You. They played a show together, Circuit de You and Spires. And both acts just knocked me out. I had to take selfies with them because I love them so much. And Ka is an interesting musician. I follow her on social media, and she does some very interesting experimental things with sound. So I don't know if you can find these because these are pretty. 2012 is when this came out. Small label, but I highly recommend these. Spires that in the sunset rise. The artwork is an indication of what you'll hear. This is very good. Really enjoyed that yesterday. Cheers, people. So that's mainly what I have to offer. But I think I will do I haven't done this in a while. Let me see if I come up with something I have never shown before, okay? Let's see. Did we get lucky or not? I'm chuckling because it wasn't that long ago that this album got mentioned because I bought this other Novalis album, Burning Bridges, Novalis Samra Band. I love that cover. If I remember correctly, I heard from Michael Dawson, who is saying he has this among their other albums. And I'll have to play this. It's a Green Brain. The green, especially green, if it says metronome underneath, apparently those are like the first runs, I guess. But the green brain is a label that I personally collect. I just like it. Prague from Germany. I'll have to play this. But again, the other day, when I played the Novalis, and I played it again the next day all the way through, much better than I remembered the band. So this may be an enjoyable reconnect by playing this record. It's been a long time. That's my pull for the day. How about that? How about that? So I'm going to call first, but I'm going to call Grapefruit today to see if they had gotten to my pile of trade, just so I can complete that, go down and see what I can find for the trade value. Okay? Family. We've had those earthquakes out there. Interesting that it was a 5.2, but the videos show some pretty violent shaking in some places. Wild times. Just take care, everyone, and be safe.